Welcome to a new edition of the Giants Huddle podcast, brought to you by Citizens, the official bank of the New York Football Giants. A new sponsor, and to talk about that partnership and more is a familiar face to Giant fans, two-time Super Bowl champion, Eli Manning. Eli, it's good to see you, man. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on. I'm excited to be here.
Absolutely. So let's talk about Citizens first. We're thrilled to add them to the Giants Huddle podcast family. I know you're a big part of the Giants relationship with them too, right, Eli?
Yeah, definitely. I have a great relationship and partnership with Citizens, and got a commercial coming out and do some work. Attend several of their events and hang out with some of their customers. So they're great people. It's a great company, and they've been a great sponsor for the Giants as well.
Yeah, we love to have them on board. Giant fans love a winner. It's why they love Citizens, named the 2022 best bank in the U.S. by The Banker as the official bank of the Giants and sponsor of the Huddle. Citizens is made ready for fans of Big Blue. Learn more at citizensbank.com. All right, Eli, so let's talk about this first. And I've always wanted to ask you this. If I took you back in a time capsule to 2015 and I told you after retirement you were doing all the TV and media stuff you were doing, would you have believed it?
No, not a chance. It was not. That was not the game plan. That's not where I saw myself going into, content and being on TV, broadcast. I still don't consider myself a broadcaster. I think what Peyton and I do is not just broadcasting. We're just sitting in our living room on a couch watching football, and I'm talking / making fun of my brother. So I didn't also know that was a job opportunity when in 2015. I didn't know that situation existed, but just having a lot of fun doing Monday Night Football, having a lot of fun doing the Eli Manning Show with my old teammate Sean O'Hara for the Giants, and so it's just it's not what I expected, but I've enjoyed it a lot, and I think that's what I was kind of looking to do when I retired: find something that I enjoy, something I'm passionate about, and also work with people that I really enjoy working with.
Absolutely. And I'll get to the Eli Manning Show in a second. Why do you think you ended up being attracted to it? Why did it work for you and doing the media stuff?
Well, I think just being around New York, I've been around a lot of media, had to do a lot of interviews, had different sponsors where had to be in front of the TV and do some acting. And I think when I was playing, I was a little bit reserved and didn't necessarily show my true personality. I was, you're talking to New York media, you don't want to make a mistake. You don't want to say anything. You're trying to avoid the headlines. You just got to give your standard answer.
You weren't dropping double birds in the locker room to the media, no?
Not to the media, maybe to a few teammates. But, and so I think my teammates kind of saw my personality, what I was like, when the media was away. And I think that was kind of what it was. And I think when I got done playing, I just I didn't have anything to be reserved about. I didn't have any. I could just kind of almost take a deep breath and let it out and just relax. And so I think it just kind of caught people by surprise that, hey, this guy actually has a personality. He's not a total stiff. And so it just especially, and I think also like doing stuff with you're always more relaxed when you're with your family, with your friends. So on Monday night, just I'm with Peyton, and it honestly feels like we're just watching a game. That was the idea. Hey, you're watching a game on your couch with your brother. What would you talk about, and how would you act? And I don't feel it's not scripted. We don't have a whole lot of, hey, you can't say this or don't do that. I mean, we're talking about a streaker in the form tackle on the streaker. After it's like, hey, you can't talk about that. I'm like, y'all never told us. Like, we're the B team. We're the B team. I feel like we have a different set of rules over here. And so it's definitely a little kind of trial by error, learn as you go, and that makes it fun.
And I got to imagine too, I know a big goal of yours was to spend a lot more time with the kids and the family, right? And this I imagine this has allowed you to find some type of balance, right?
No doubt. I mean, I think that was the idea. So, with Monday Night Football, it's Monday night at 8:00. Most of my kids are asleep, or I get to have dinner with them. I can go pick them up from school and be around.
You aren't traveling for it, right?
No, not traveling, just kind of sitting in my couch, and even doing the Eli Manning Show. It's in New York. It's around. It's during the day. Kids are at school, so I have free time during the day. For me, it was really more, hey, I want to be around on weekends to go to their sporting games. I want to be able to coach them in some of their sports and watch them in some of their activities, pick them up from some of their activities. Sometimes that's like the best bonding time with your kids, is just in the car, driving between places. Once they get home, they're all over the place. They got homework. They have a lot going on. So just being present, being around, being able to have dinner with them. And this keeps me local, keeps me around, and keeps me off the road.
All right, Eli Manning Show. Let's talk about it. You have to deal with O'Hara some more, which I know I'm sure is tough. He's strains all of us, Eli. We get it.
Yeah, but I've been used to doing that. That was a full-time job while we were teammates, just trying to control him, trying to, keep him on track, keep him, kind of straight and narrow. So it's been doing it for a long time. But just how comfortable I am with my brother, it's the same way with Sean O'Hara. He's one of my best friends to this day. We go on family trips. Our kids are pals. We hang out a bunch, and so doing the show when they were kind of talking about a co-host, I mean, it was a no-brainer, because I know also he's not sensitive, so you can make fun of him, you can take shots at him, and he can take it. He's going to give it right back. And so the fact that we have that trust that I'm never going to go say anything that's I'm not serious about anything I say. It's all jokes, it's all fun, and to have someone you can do that with is great.
Now, you're someone that always prepared so well during your football career, right? But I imagine the Eli Manning Show is a little bit different. It's even different than the Manning Cast, right? I mean, you're like part Jimmy Fallon, part like variety show host. How is your preparation for doing the Eli Manning Show different than maybe anything you've done before?
Well, I think whenever I would go on a show, I was the one answering the questions. It's hard to kind of prepare to answer a question. You don't know what they might ask. And so you go in there and try to have some fun. Now I gotta ask the questions. I gotta listen to what they're saying, kind of have follow-up questions. I gotta make fun of Sean, whatever he says. So it's much more kind of understanding who the guest is. We're interviewing some of these rappers. Like, I'm not a big rap guy. I don't know who some of these people are. I got to do some research. I got to find out something like, how am I going to relate with this person? How am I going to, how are we going to sync up? And so I think a lot of it is, hey, me and Mike Sean, let's make fun of each other a lot. And I think this guy can join in on the fun. If he starts making fun of us, then it will be a good show. Then we got a chance. Like, then he's in, and we can get some good stories, and knowing that we're not out to trick someone. We're not out to get headlines. We want someone to be relaxed, have some fun, and just that's the whole idea.
Who have been some of your favorite guests or segments, games that you've played with some of the guests?
Well, I think, had so many great ones. I love getting the New York stars. That was kind of when I was doing it, just getting, Henrik Lundqvist, getting Derek Jeter, having Michael Strahan was so much fun. So the athletes are awesome. Bill Murray, I was a big Bill Murray fan. They kind of had a script of questions like, hey, here's some suggestions. I'm like, I don't need that. Like, I just got my questions.
Sorry, Sperling, I don't need your questions, Don. Get out of here. I got my own.
Get out of here. Get out of here. Don't mess this show up. Like, these questions can totally mess this up. I'm a fan. I got my stuff. I talked to my high school buddies. Like, we grew up watching Bill Murray movies, Groundhog Day, Meatballs, Ghostbusters. Like, this is our stuff. So I talked with them. I got my questions. I got my stuff, and let's go.
You're ready for a change. Payday comes early with Citizens, so go to that retreat. New You moves to the country. Now you're raising goats and launching a lifestyle brand. Are you ready for all that life brings?
Now, you obviously been around a lot of athletes. I'll ask you about this one last before we get to some football stuff. When you did the Kevin Durant show, even as someone that's been around, world-class athlete this whole life, when you see a guy that height and kind of that build, is it just a little bit different even for you seeing a guy, because he's just so unique?
Yeah, there's very few people that I have to look up to when we're standing up and you're like getting a picture. I'm like, oh my God, I gotta get on my tiptoes here. Usually I'm trying to like sink down, and I don't want to look so much taller than someone. But to follow his career for so long. I remember watching him at Texas, during the NCAA championship in the tournament, and just like, look at this guy, look at this 6'11" guy shooting 3-pointers. And so I've watched his whole career, and was a great fan. And so to have him on and was a lot of fun. And that's the idea. I think we kind of made him comfortable. He's a Washington fan, so kind of brought that up a little bit, and just got to play a little pop a shot. And like, that's the idea. Hey, let's do silly things, fun things. Pop a shot with Kevin Durant, playing air hockey with Henrik Lundqvist. Like, those are fun things. I get a little competitive. Of course, I always let them win.
Of course.
I'm a good host.
Good
I
host.
could definitely have beaten both of them, but I got to let them win.
All right, season 3 is coming out here, Eli. Did you enjoy shooting the little teaser commercial with Kate Mara?
That was a lot of fun. Kate is awesome. Known Kate a long time. I remember seeing her and her sister and so many of the Maras around training camp practices in Albany, and to get to watch her career as an actress and in Hollywood and shows and movies has been so cool. So I think having her on and get to kind of see the actress side of her. I've always seen her more just kind of as a fan, or just as remember as a little kid. And so to get to see her kind of flip the switch and go from like, oh hey Eli, how you doing, to all right, now I'm acting, now I'm yelling at you, stop wearing the dad vest and stop doing this, and just cut. I was like, oh, maybe she's serious. Like, you can't tell the difference. It doesn't seem like acting, and just a true professional in that sense. So I think she had a lot of fun, and I know I did.
The Giants Huddle is brought to you by Citizens, the official bank of the New York Giants. From game day to every day, Citizens is made ready for Giants fans with insights, guidance, and solutions. Learn more at citizensbank.com. All right, Eli, let's talk some football here. I'm sure you're getting ready for your ESPN stuff coming up here in the fall. You're back at it with Peyton. Let's talk a little bit about the Giants and where they are. Put yourself in Daniel's shoes a little bit. What's different for a quarterback once you're starting to get a bigger comfort level in a system, like I'm sure Daniel has in Brian Dable's offense? What changes for a quarterback when they're out there on the field and you just know the offense and you've been in it for that second year?
It's a huge difference. And I think just having more command of what your assignment is, but also what everyone else's assignment is, and for them to have more knowledge about, how they can make improvements. And you have examples. You can say, hey, remember this game, versus the Titans last year, we ran this play. Hey, if the defense does that, let's make this adjustment. So you can coach a little bit in the offseason when you're at OTAs, when you're at training camp. Everybody, you have more, I guess, more freedom to kind of be that coach on the field, because you know exactly what you're supposed to be doing, what they're supposed to be doing, and how it can play out against different coverages. And so you see that Daniel, in the off season, he's getting the guys together. They're going to work out different places. And so you can do those things. It almost, if you do that too soon, before you know the offense, and for the offense, like the receivers know the offense, and you're getting together, you can't get that much better on your actual plays and your schemes, because no one knows exactly what that is or how to make those adjustments. So I think it's so much, has the opportunity to be so much smoother when everybody, is more comfortable. They know, they know what to expect. Hey, this is what the defense is doing. This is our adjustment. Oh yeah, we did that last year. We did that. We've talked about that before, and you can make those adjustments quicker.
Yeah, and the Giants have talked a lot about Eli trying to be more explosive offensively this year. From your playing days, obviously, and now being an analyst, that you score touchdowns by making big plays, right? It's hard to sustain those 12, 15 play, 8-play drives even down the field to score touchdowns. And the Giants did add personnel in the offseason, speed-wise at wide receiver, to help create those plays. But as a quarterback, how can you either change your approach or a mindset or something else that can help create more of those explosive plays in an offense?
I think you have to be a little bit careful in that mindset. I think it's still about making good decisions, making good reads as a quarterback, not forcing the ball down the field. And some of it's kind of, you can make those big plays with new personnel. And I think that's what the Giants have done, saying it's still the same plays, it's still the same progressions, but now, hey, let's add a great tight end. Let's add some speed at receiver. Let's add some of these guys so we can win those one-on-one matchups when everything's clean and you got press man across the board. hey, we can throw a go route. Hey, we can get a tight end on an over route. If they're playing soft zone and they're, giving you the underneath stuff, you have to be patient. Hey, let's take it. Let's get them out of this. Let's get them out, or they have to make a change because we're just moving down the field and they're giving us 6-yard completions all day. Hey, let's take it. Let's take it. And when they change, when they play more aggressive on defense, that's when you play more aggressive on offense. And so that's the mentality. You can't just go in saying, hey, we got to take shots, throw it down the field. Hey, long incompletions don't help anybody. Turnovers don't help anybody. It's about, seeing what the defense is doing and taking what they give you, being patient and taking your shots when you get the right look.
To your point, I want to ask you about risk aversion, right? Because I think Daniel's gone through an interesting kind of wave in his career where the first year, all he heard about turnovers, fumbles, picks, turnovers. And last year, he had the lowest interception rate in the whole league. Best in the league. He did not turn the ball over. He's turned that around completely. But at the same time, his average depth of target was lower, not as many big plays like we talked about. So is there a certain level as a quarterback of risk acceptance where, all right, I might make 6 or 7 more big plays, but I might have 1 or 2 more picks, but that's okay because that's a trade-off I kind of want to make? Is that a way you think about it? Or is that just the way people from outside the game think about it from a statistical standpoint?
Yeah, I mean, I don't associate with big plays being risky, and I think that's the kind of the misconception there. I think big plays come out of taking what the defenses give you. Hey, they're playing man. You can hit a big play throwing a slant, and you throw an accurate ball. It was the right read. Ball came out on time, and you hit it. You make big plays by, hey, they're playing soft zone. We're calling a shot play here. I'm not going to take the shot play. I'm gonna, because, hey, it's not going to be there. I'm not going to waste my time, hoping something might be open when the chances are it's not. I'm going to hit my check down to Saquon, go get 5 or 6 yards. So now we got 2nd and 5 instead of 2nd and 10. And we can still run the ball on 2nd down. Hey, and he breaks a long one. Or, hey, 2nd and 5, defense can't play soft zone again. They'll play man. Hey, let's call that same play again, and I can take the shot. So I think as a coordinator, you call a more aggressive game plan when you know your quarterback is going to make good decisions and not force the ball down the field if it's not the right look. Take the check down, take the underneath. Hey, I'll come back to it again. And, eventually you get the right look, you get the right call, and you can hit the big plays because it's the right look. If it's the right look, you can throw the ball down the field, because, you feel your guy is going to make the play. And so, it's risky in the sense that it might be an incompletion, throwing the ball 40 yards down the field versus, 8 yards, higher chance of incompletion, should not be a higher chance of a turnover, though.
No, I think you make a really good point. And how much does a continual improvement in the offensive line to allow you to try to take more of those shots, right? Because look, a go ball on the sideline, you can get out pretty quick, right? But those deep over routes, those take time. So how important is it for this offensive line to continue to improve so you can take advantage of some of those longer developing plays downfield?
Yeah, 100%. That's really what that is all about. With the taking your shots down the field, like you said, the deep over routes, kind of post corner, double moves, all those things, those take time. So that's when, hey, you need to run the ball well to set up those things. You need to get those completions, get into a rhythm where it slows down that defensive line rush. They're not thinking pass. They're thinking, hey, I got to fill my gaps. I got to stop the run here. And then you can hit some play action. And, those guys, it helps the offensive line, but they got to be able to hold up. They got to win their one-on-one matchups enough where you can give your guys some time to get through and run through some zones to get open. So, again, it's a full team effort. When you have a big play, when you have a scoring drive, it's all 11 guys doing their job every single play, doing it well, winning those one-on-one matchups, and then the quarterback seeing that and making good decisions.
You love turf. You're good at it. So you start a turf biz. Business grows, your savings grow. Become the most celebrated name in turf. Are you ready for all that life brings?
And I have to imagine Darren Waller is going to be the guy that Daniel Jones is looking for to win those one-on-one matchups. From a quarterback's perspective, Eli, how does having a guy that you can move around a lot. He can basically be split out as an X. He can be on the inline as a tight end. You can in the slot. You can put him anywhere. And just the mismatch capabilities. What does that do for an offense?
Yeah, you used the right word there with the mismatch, and so that's what you're looking with a great tight end. You're looking for that matchup. If they're playing some sort of zone, you usually, even though defense playing zone, they have to match a player. They're still guarding kind of a player man within that zone. So sometimes most of that times you'll get a tight end on a linebacker, where in most cases you see, hey, we have a 6'6" guy, we have a big physical guy, he's faster, he's going to be able to create some separation, win those matchups. If they're playing more man, you get him on a safety, maybe a little faster guy, but maybe a little smaller guy where he can be more physical, move some guys around, still win, just the height, the size difference for him. So you're looking to move him around, get those matchups. Get you're running the ball, you get more kind of single high safety, be able to hit some of those over routes. If they're playing cover 2 and playing more soft zone, you can still hit him on these little 5 and 6 yard stick routes underneath crossing routes and let him go, catch it, make a tackle, break a tackle, and go get 10 yards, go get 12 yards, go get first down. So, just looking, you kind of feel with him every matchup, unless they're doubling, unless you're kind of putting 2 guys on him in a zone to take him away, that should open up other receivers kind of, filling in the other zones in the area.
I got to imagine, his presence in the middle of the field, especially in single high, Eli, that's going to give your speed guys outside more room, because that safety's probably not going to be able to give those outside guys as much help on some of those deep routes, right?
Yeah, definitely. And I think that's the idea, kind of, having your tight ends, they got to win those matchups in the middle of the field. They got to be worried about seam, safety's got to be worried about seam routes, about over routes, where all of a sudden they get a little aggressive, jumping some of these deep over routes. That's when you can hit the post. That's when they're not helping out their corner so much on the outside on some go routes. So it can change up some of their coverages where they feel like they gotta have a safety a little bit more involved covering him, and so now your receivers are truly one-on-one a lot more.
Just a couple more, Eli. When you look at Brian Dable's offense and how him and Mike Kafka scheme it up as a quarterback, what do you like about it, and why do you think it works as well as it does?
Well, I think they do a great job of scheming up play actions, of different bootlegs, nakeds, that match up with the run plays that they run. So it all looks the same. They're very patient. Hey, run the ball, find completions, these long kind of great, situations, especially with the running quarterback. They get Daniel on the outside. He can throw it. He can run it. They do the RPOs where, it matches up where, hey, if a defensive end is being too aggressive and getting involved in the run game, we have a quarterback that can take it outside and not go get 5 yards, go get 40 yards, and which Daniel can do at the speed. But so I think they don't put the quarterback in risk. It's safe reads. They're not trying to get him hit and called quarterback runs. It's a read where, hey, he's looking to hand it off to the running back, but if they overplay it, if they make a mistake, he has the ability to take advantage of it. So I think they put Daniel, they put the offense in such a great situation to make plays and to have really good plays where they can make their reads and make good decisions.
Big picture for the Giants, progress is not linear. Eli, you can sometimes have fits and starts along the way to get where you want to go. But what's to you the next step for this Giants team coming off a year where they won a playoff round and they've made a lot of progress in Brian Dable and Joe Shane's first year?
Well, you'll learn in the NFL, nothing is guaranteed. Just because something happened last year doesn't mean it's going to happen this year. Last year, they were so good at winning the fourth quarter, at winning some of these tight games. Even if they were down a little bit going into the fourth, they were able to make those comebacks and get the win. So it's really not about taking like another step in that. It's continuing to do that, to find ways to win those games in the fourth quarter. Don't get frustrated. Don't press just because you might be down a little bit, and stay within the offense. Continue to make good decisions, and just keep doing your job and kind of let the game come to you. I mean, ideally you say, oh yeah, we like to win by win more games by 10 points and by 14 points. Hey, everybody would. That's hard. That doesn't happen in the NFL. all these teams are good. There's so many great players. It's just a matter of just having that mentality that whatever happens early in the game, good or bad, it's still going to probably come down to the fourth quarter. Hey, we're going to be in better shape. We're going to be better prepared. We've worked harder. It's more important to us. We're going to find a way to win this game.
And then finally, let's just put your ESPN hat on. The NFC East is tough, man. The Eagles are super talented. Dallas is really good. But the NFC as a conference, I feel like, is kind of wide open, right? All the Joe Burrows and Mahomeses and Herberts, they're all in the AFC. They're not in the NFC now. So just talk about big picture NFC, where the Giants sit, and kind of how you see the division and the conference.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously, I think the Eagles are the team to beat, and they're coming off a Super Bowl run. They have a lot of young talent. That kept Jalen Hurts is playing great football, rewarding him. Their offensive line is really good, and so I think, but I still think the NFC East is still very strong, and it's wide open in the sense, hey, all the teams are pretty good. They're pretty strong, but it seems like every year there's a new divisional winner in that conference. And so I think that's a great thing. I think it kind of keeps you saying, hey, this year could be our year. We gotta take care of business. We gotta take care of the division. And it's gonna start week 1. Dallas division at home is great, but it's just a matter of, hey, we got taking care of business, going out there, trusting your training, and go play well.
Eli Manning joins us to welcome citizens to the Giants Huddle podcast. Eli, we appreciate the time. Make sure you go check out the Eli Manning Show on the Giants YouTube channel as well. Good luck this year, and look forward to seeing you during training camp.
All right, pal. Thanks so much.
That's Eli Manning on the Giants Huddle podcast, brought to you by Citizens. We'll see you next time.